Hey guys, Derek with Under Par Golf Studio here. We got a new product today. We're going to take a look at the TSR3 and TSR2 from Titleist today, the new drivers, and see what kind of differences we see and how similar or different they are, and give you some thoughts on what we can do fitting wise to help you get the best out of them. So let's get started. All right, so first let's look at the TSR2 model here. So the TSR2 and TSR3 are both 460cc club heads, so full-size club heads. All models got an aerodynamic redesign here. So on the TSR2, you kind of see this boat tail shape that kind of resembles more of like the Sims in the Stealth line. And then the TSR3, which has the Sure Fit weight, has more of a little bit of a rogue boat tail design, is what they both remind me of. So that's good that they're focusing on refining aerodynamics. That's why you see a lot more simple club sole too, to reduce drag. So the TSR2 also shares a little bit of technology with the TSR4 in terms of they both have a multi-plateau variable face thickness design. So they actually build the face inward layer by layer to give you more constant CT or COR, as well as a little better spin control across the entire face. So the TSR2 is really going to be that forgiving model. It's going to be a mid to high launching club head with still pretty low spin because of how they put the weight in. We see it looks very good from the bottom. The face looks very solid. It just has that little bit of etching on the sweet spot there in the middle. And then from the top, we see it's a very classic design as well. Now if I compare it to TSR3 here, again, very similar face. On the bottom we see the new Sure Fit weight system that actually exposes the weight a little bit more. And this new Sure Fit system can actually be finer tuned than the old one on the TSI3, and it actually has more tuning adjustability altogether, so you can move the weight further in both directions, but you can also move it into tighter areas, so we have better control over what we do with the Sure Fit. Now the big difference in the TSR3 is the TSR3 is actually built differently in terms of the face. It has a speed ring face design, which again was built from the outside in, but it's focusing more of the COR and CT in the sweet spot or the center of the face here, unlike the TSR2 and the TSR4. I don't have the TSR4 here. Let me show you it from the top down, the TSR3. So as we can see, they're both very similar in shape. These are both the 9-degree models. Very similar in shape overall. They both look very good for a full-size 460cc head. And then the biggest difference in TSR4 is you have a 430cc head again that actually has two weights, kind of like the TSR2 does. So the TSR2, we see this back weight here. The TSR4 has the same weight design, but then it also has another slot here. If you look up photos of it, you'll be able to see it. And what that allows us to do is we can actually move the two different weights into different places. So we move the heavy weight forward. We really get that low spin, low launch spin killer for someone who creates a lot of spin or a lot of club head speed. Otherwise, we can flip them and put the heavier weight back here, and we end up with something closer to like a TSR 3.5. So if you don't need the Sure Fit adjustability heel to toe, but you need a little bit of that spin killing, and the TSR3 just isn't quite doing it, the TSR4 has the ability to kind of go into a TSR 3.5 or the full TSR4 setup. So that kind of covers most of the main differences between the two. Let me get them flipped back over here one more time. So there you go again. They both look very clean, very good. Love both designs really. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we get performance-wise. Okay, so now that we've looked at both head models up close, now we're going to start out with the TSR2. I have an Acura TZ5 70 gram M5 shaft, same type of shaft I would be playing in a tournament or whenever I'm playing. It's not something totally different to me. It's not a stock shaft. It's something that's going to fit me pretty well. So I want to make it as even a comparison as I can. So we're going to keep this shaft in the TSR3 as well after this. So let's hit a few here and kind of see what kind of results we get. That's kind of that push like I had with the TSR3, but again, you're seeing very good numbers. Really low spin, even for leaving the face open a little bit on that, so that's really good for you who struggle with a little bit of that left to right ball flight and a lot of spin. That's good. That means we can get you a little more distance out of it. Same thing when I turn it over, I still get really good results just like the TSR3. So you see that slightly high toe shot, really susceptible to that spin drop off there. That's something where with a little more fine tuning I would maybe play a different loft. I just went 9 degrees, that's about what I'm playing now with my current gamer driver. Okay, so there's some good shots there, so let's look at the TSR3 next. So now that we've hit the TSR2, let's go ahead and put the TSR3 on the same Acura shaft here. Same shaft that I would be playing essentially. And let's see what kind of differences we end up with here. And then we can compare the two. So that one felt pretty good, maybe just a tad on the heel. Yep, Healy. So that's a really good miss there. I will say, so far to me, the TSR3 has been a little better head. I turned that one over a little bit more, but in all my testing so far, the TSR3 has been something I've gravitated to a little bit more. So those last two are both really solid strikes. Obviously the one before this one I turned over a little bit, but that one was about a perfect draw that I would like to see on the course there. So that was hit way in the heel. So that shows you the forgiveness the TSI3 still has. That was hit very heely. Yep, and low. So that shows you the forgiveness you get with the TSR3 still. So now, let's download both of these sets of data and kind of take a look at them on the computer, and I'll kind of give you my last impressions on everything. Okay, so now we've got the report up here so we can see both the TSR2 and TSR3, very similar ball speeds. Despite the TSR3, I swung a little faster, but you can see my strike location was much more low heel. So I really think TSR3 is a great head design, even for me, because if I center that up just a little bit better, that was only 3 to 5 swings there. I think I see that ball speed jump up higher than the TSR2. I like that launch angle and spin actually a little bit more. The TSR2 is actually a higher launching, lower spinning head than I thought I would get. So I think the TSR3 is actually a little better performance for me currently. Very similar, almost identical carry numbers and total distance numbers. TSR3 was maybe a little more right to left ball flight wise. But overall, you see very similar smash, head speeds within 1 mile an hour. Very similar loft at impact. So this really shows you how that TSR2 is a much higher launching, lower spinning head with that low, more forward center of gravity. So I really think that TSR3 head's a better head for me personally, but that TSR2 is going to be a great head for anybody, but this should show you that you shouldn't shy away from trying both head designs when doing a fitting with the Titleist TSR stuff. They're both great heads. I'd really recommend going out and trying them. But with that said, I think the TSR3 would be the head for me, and yeah, so go ahead and make an appointment with us, your local fitter, and I really recommend trying out everything you can with these, because as you can see, it's very different than you would expect. That TSR2 is a great performer, and I would normally be a TSR3 or TSR4 person, so that's huge. So again, thanks everyone for tuning in today, and I hope you learned a lot about the new TSR heads, and really got you excited to go out and try this new stuff, because it's really good technology from Titleist. So again, thank you.